Hi everyone, in this video I would like to give some tips on how to find a job in Australia if you're a foreigner. This video will be helpful for those who recently moved to Australia or who just graduated from Australian University and looking for a job. My name is Selina and I have been living in Australia for 6 years. During this period I have been working in different roles. I started as a cashier at IGA and now I work as an assistant accountant for a public company. And I know how frustrating it can be when you cannot find a job once you move here. Being a foreigner, especially if you're on a visa and you have work restrictions, makes things even worse. So my experience of looking for a job, experience of my friends, allowed me to gather some general tips on how to find a job in Australia. Because as a foreigner, you'll have to use slightly different strategies compared to locals. So if you're interested, please continue watching. First of all, I would like to point out, if you're on a temporary visa or you have work hours restrictions on your visa, prepare to receive many rejections. Nothing personal, but most of the employers are not willing to take that risk that your visa will expire and they will lose employee. Therefore, you particularly will receive more rejections than other people, just because of your residency status. What to do in this situation? Just doing more applications, doing more effort. You have to be more persistent than everybody else. And I know it is possible to find a good job while you're on a temporary visa or while you're on a student visa and you have work limitations, but it's definitely possible. You just have to push harder and you eventually get a result. So no emotions, rejections are normal. Keep pushing. My next tip is to visit networking events. Power of a referral is very strong in Australia. Employer wants people who are trustworthy and they like asking existing employees to bring more new employees. Recommend someone for a role. It doesn't mean you'll get the job straight away. It only means you'll get a chance to have an interview. And getting shortlisted for an interview sometimes is the most difficult part because your resume have to be shortlisted by HR people and they use different selection methods which may not work for you. So getting a referral is 50% of your success. Other 50% is how you perform on an interview. So you have to increase your networks, particularly professional networks. You have to meet more new people, and where to meet them, it depends on the industry where you work. For example, if you're in accounting or finance industry, you can attend professional events organized by CPA Australia. And no, you don't need to be a member in order to be able to attend these events. If you're in IT industry, ACS also organizes similar professional development events. And again, you don't need to be a member to attend those events. So do your own research depending on your industry and find professional development events where you can find your colleagues, where you can find new people. Not only you will meet new people there and increase your network, you will get some professional development hours, you increase your knowledge, and all this can be added to your resume. To follow the networking topic, next tip is to have an active LinkedIn page. You probably already heard about this many times and you must have been thought that it's useless and it's not helpful, but believe me, LinkedIn is a very powerful tool. Nowadays, the power of personal brand and positioning yourself in social media is huge. And you will want your potential employer to get the first impression of you from your nice and active LinkedIn page, not your random Facebook page. Imagine you have been shortlisted for a job and your employer is choosing between you and the other candidate who has the same experience as you have. Then the employer checks your LinkedIn profiles. Think about it. Who they will be more tend to choose. Person who is open about their experience, education, who posts about attending different professional development events, or the person who doesn't have a photo, doesn't have any information about him at all. Most likely it will be the first one. Even if the second one also attends PD events, has same experience and same backgrounds. That's how human beings are. We unconsciously have this impression. So make sure you give good impression when HR or your potential employer checks your LinkedIn profile. But please do not put something which is not true. Lie became very obvious once you ask few questions. Next tip is about internships and volunteer work. I wish somebody told me this back in my days, that the power of unpaid work is huge in Australia as well. Of course, not everyone in the position to do free work for a couple of months, but trust me, even a couple of weeks or a couple of months can give you a good start. When you graduate from the university, no one will hire you because you don't have practical work experience. So unpaid work internships is your chance to get the real work experience. No one is interested in your double degree if you can't do the work. If you have a lot of overseas experience, you may also need to try with some entry-level job and then climb up. Local employers are not interested in your overseas experience most of the time because it's not relevant to Australian environment unless you work for some multinational corporation. So getting local experience is very important no matter what your background is. Another approach that is really helpful is to start with temporary job, which can be from 4 weeks to up to 3-6 months. These kinds of job positions are advertised by recruitment companies. So my suggestion is to follow recruiters in your industry on LinkedIn and monitor what vacancies they post, as most of these are not on Seek or Indeed, they are in LinkedIn. Yes, temporary job is not sounds attractive, but A, usually it's well paid, and B, it's your chance to get into the industry and get some local experience. And who knows, temporary job may become permanent. I know people who ended up having a full-time offer with a company they had just a few months temporary contract. And my last tip, try to get local or world recognized education. And I'm not talking about degree. Most of the time it won't help you to find a job, and after graduation you will be looking like everybody else. I'm talking about TAFE certificates, which are much more cheaper and shorter than degree, and some professional certificates that can be done online. For example, if you want to get a job in accounting finance, try to get certificate for an accounting from TAFE. TAFE gives more practical knowledge compared to uni, and very often TAFE courses have practical experience component, so you can get some experience while you study there. Same applies to other industries. Having local certificates or just studying towards a certificate will increase your chances to be selected by HR. Next is professional certificates which are world recognized. For example, in IT industries there are some basic certificates which recruiters put in their requirement, like ITIL, and doing such certificate will increase your chances to be selected. And you don't have to wait until you finish TAFE or certificate. Just studying towards it and putting this in your resume will significantly increase your chances. So to sum up, don't get discouraged when you receive rejections, be persistent, attend professional development events, increase your professional network, have an active LinkedIn profile, consider internship and temporary job, and start getting local and world recognized certificates. I hope this video was helpful and thank you for watching.